so roles are reversed today.
They are. I'm
Lori's driving, which is a little different. And I guess I'm emceeing this video.
It's like when you have to, like, when you go to a hotel and you can't sleep on the other side of the bed. This is what this is like.
That's what James actually, because we were just gone this weekend, and I just got in bed and he's like, "You're on my side." I was like, "This is not our bed."
We just moved into our new house, and so we have to sleep on the same side of the bed, of course, whichever. But then we go to the bathroom, and he's like, "My side doesn't have a towel bar," and I was like, "Well, we can switch sides of the bathroom. We don't have to stay the same." He's like, "I can't do it."
I know, it is weird.
You picked that side too. So anyways, gotcha.
Today, Lori is driving, and I am emceeing, but we are wanting to talk about, I think our title is Not All Builders Are the Same. And what we want to discuss is that some of those inclusions for a series of homes, or sometimes those upgrades that are classified in some builders' build sheet, are not necessarily upgrades in the other builder's build sheet. And so if you're really comparing builders that you want 11-foot ceilings, 8-foot doors, 3-car garages, finished basements, sometimes they're going to be a line item and sometimes they're included in a standard. And so we want to kind of talk through maybe two different builders that Lori and we have had a lot of people building in this area, and there's a handful of other builders, but I feel like we're always playing these two builders out against each other. And I feel, go right. And I feel like
this is why she drives.
I know you get disoriented.
I do.
I feel like these two builders, though, are people say, "Oh, if I like this one, I also like this one." So I think they must have some similarities. And then when it comes down to the nitty gritty, our clients are weighing out some of these options or not options. So we're gonna walk through one of them. We're gonna go through the David Weekly model over in. Cut me off because I'm not supposed to tell you where we're going.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I do like this model. I liked their other model better, I think.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But I like this builder, but we're just going to kind of walk through and point out, hey, this is not an upgrade here. Yes, when you're comparing it to this, it is an upgrade.
I think it's important when you're thinking of making the build, that
building the build
is that just because one builder's cheaper doesn't mean they're actually cheaper, because one, it could be less quality. That's why I think this video is really important. It could be less quality, or on paper, they have a bottom line of, let's say, $650 and the other one's $750, or they're the same but they don't include all the windows. So you go to price out structural first, because in the build there's like a structural stage, and then there's also the
and you spend a lot of money
design stage. But then some of them automatically include the higher ceiling. Some of them automatically include the windows. So many lights.
Here's a great thing right now. I was talking to one of our past clients. They're contemplating maybe a new build move up in the Monument area. And they went by this builder, and this builder right now is actually offering an incentive for a free finished walkout basement. And so I got on the phone with the sales rep, and I was like, because sometimes builders are like, here, you get $50,000 worth of incentives, use them as you want. But I'm like, hey, what is this valued at? Do you know how much it's at?
Yeah, but do you know that's one of those things where I think that you have to know what you're doing and pay attention, because really, like, it's like saying you go to a store and the shirt's 50% off, but they marked it at 50%. Or like with cars, like you have to look at that.
You have to look at the bottom number, but on their line item for this builder, that finished walkout basement was $80,000.
Yeah, but how much did they increase the price? Do you think they increased their base pricing then to buffer that in? That's my thing.
Maybe a little. And what I would have to look at to really...
Do I park on these rocks? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, that's what you do. Okay. But what I did, and this is what I did with our clients this last week, I asked him, I said, hey, that house over there is the same as the one across the street. Are they in the same phase? And they said, yes. And I said, well, can we see that build sheet and see what that starting price point was, and see maybe what upgrades they had versus what we want to do and where the difference has came into play. And you're kind of right though, because the base price was the same, but the cost of goods had gone up.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is like tariffs now and a couple other things. And so what they've done is some of those upgrade costs were different, even though it's in the same phase.
Yeah. So that's why you need us. But we're going to go show you exactly what this looks like. So let's go. See, it's a gorgeous day here in Colorado Springs. Not a cloud in the sky.
It is very pretty.
Like a
Do
ray of
you
light.
know by Thursday? Or was it next Thursday?
Don't tell me.
It gets down to 49.
Stop it.
I'm not ready for that. But that's what you'll get, these bright blue skies and the air's crisp. But today it's like perfect. I have a new place I like to order from. Feel this.
Where is it?
Quince.
Quince?
Have you seen the ads online? They have like bedding and stuff.
No, but now I'm sure you're
But a
jinxing me.
Pottery
Now I'll
Barn
get it.
lady was like, "Oh, you have to try their sweaters, cashmere sweater." Like
Pottery Barn sells sweaters?
No, Quince does.
Oh.
And she said, because I noticed their bedding, and so I was talking to the Pottery Barn lady about the bedding, and she goes, "No, you still have to buy your bedding here." She said, "But the sweaters and stuff, $59 a cashmere sweater."
Oh, you're very
They're
fancy.
very good. So,
But we had clients in town from Florida this weekend, and they were commenting on how intense our sun is here.
It is.
Like he's like, it's like 59, and I can wear a T-shirt. Where back in Florida, that could never
59
happen.
would not happen.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, our sun is very intense. So we are going to go into this builder, and what are we going to do? Just walk through and point them out and
Yeah,
say,
I think you and I should go back and forth, talk about,
Okay.
We do a lot of new builds with clients. And so it's really important that you have someone with you to kind of negotiate. We save our clients lots of money and to kind of think about it. I think you're going to one on Thursday for a price out to think about. So let's go through, and I think we should just kind of pick different things, and you pick what you think is
And
important.
the other thing that I told those clients yesterday when I was talking to them, I said, you're building your house. You're going to build it what you want. But I'm going to also bring some reason to it and say, hey, are you sure you don't want to spend the money here? You're never going to change that. And that is one thing that as we see resales, people really want the third car garage or the extra foot in the ceiling. And if you're building this level and caliber of home, you should consider this. So we just kind of give you our opinion and bring some reason. Well, and bring some reason to like what you're building and where you're building and what's included and what's not. So I think what we should do is like flip the camera and we look at something and then just discuss it. Yay or nay?
Okay, we can
All
do
right.
that.
Okay.
Really wanted me to stop here.
Yep, we didn't get very far. So I think there's two things to me to discuss right away that I know comes up in conversation and cost when we're pricing out. One is elevation of a home.
So what is elevation? Because to me that means like how high a home is.
Elevation means the look of the exterior. So we had a client and they wanted an exterior with a front porch. Well, there was, of the builder, like 4 or 5 different design options or elevations, and 2 of them had the front porch. So then we got narrowed down to those 2. And then I said, well, what is the cost of this one versus the cost of that one? And there was a significant difference on the 2 different front porch options. And so then, that came into play. And I will say, it gives curb appeal, but I have never seen on an appraisal a front porch get a dollar amount. Have you?
No, and I think it's more
it's curb appeal.
Yeah, curb appeal.
The other thing that I think we should discuss, some builders will include or enable you to roll in to the cost landscaping, and some will not. And sometimes the builder, it's a whole different situation if they will not roll in landscaping into the loan, because then you need cash flow. And depending on the size of the lot, that could be a large amount of cash flow, or it could be a little bit, less. It kind of depends on your situation.
I think we'll
but it's
underestimate
totally
the
different.
cost of landscaping here. Like, so here in Wolf Ranch, for example, you have to have this cement fence. You
Say $7,000.
That's a lot
right there
for the cement. It's not even wood. And then to build out a landscape like this, I mean, you're talking like $40,000 a lot
30.
of time.
I was gonna say 30 to 40,000.
And this is on a normal lot.
On like a maybe 8 to 9,000 square foot lot in certain areas, because HOAs also dictate how many trees you have to have, what kind of trees you have to have, how many bushes you have to have in so many feet,
I put in
how much green space, all of those
6-foot
things.
blue spruce, which are a Colorado tree here, and for them to deliver it, put it in with all their whatever, it was $1,500 for 2 trees. Like,
I know.
So that's just kind of what it. So the
And this
question
is like in this particular neighborhood. Yes, this is not a wood fence, but it is concrete. And so the nice thing is once it's up, you really won't have upkeep to it.
Yeah.
But it costs a pretty penny. So if the lot you're looking at needs fencing and you cannot roll in your landscaping, both those costs are out of pocket on top of the closing of your house. What, are you grabbing cookies?
They always make cookies in this builder.
We are talking numbers.
Maybe not the fresh baked one.
It smells so good in
Where's
here.
the fresh baked one? I took the wrong one. Anyway, I shouldn't have ate that before I did that. So the one thing I want to talk about is maybe if Kayleen, can you see? Am I all blacked out?
Nope.
Is one major thing that I think is so important is, I shouldn't eat that cookie.
Is it all your windows?
Is windows, and if they're included or not. So in this particular builder, you know, typically all the windows, maybe not this extended slider, this is probably an upgrade, but for the most part, all the windows that you are seeing are typically standard. And so sometimes when you go to a builder and you're like, oh, that one's cheaper, but then you look at each window as another $500, you quickly price yourself.
And they're like, well, that slider's an option, and those two are an option.
Yes, and those things above the windows are not, or the kitchen is an option. And that is like so important for resale, I think, too, is the natural light that you can put into a home. How many times we walk into a house and it feels so dark? It's because they don't want to upgrade for the windows during that build process, which you're trying to watch your bottom line. And so when you are pricing out a new build, you know, some builders include it, some don't, and it's really important to look at that bottom line. We interrupt this video to make sure that you call us when you are thinking of moving to Colorado Springs, because we're amazing and we do a lot of real estate, like daily. Like I dream about real estate.
I honestly do think that most clients that call us, they've watched enough of our videos. They kind of already know they want to work with us. Once in a while, we'll get a phone call that they're like, oh, we have it narrowed down to a couple of you. And if we get the chance to prove ourselves, they literally will say, we're so glad we picked the right realtor. You guys have done a great job. You're great at blah, 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 blah. I know we're tooting our own horn. But I do think we love our jobs and it shows, and we work really hard for our clients. So if you're thinking of making the move, reach out to us.
Okay, can you get it open? Kaylee and I always struggle with patio doors. It never goes well for us.
So one thing I thought is important, and again, it was a conversation recently, is patios. And they can cost a pretty penny. So say you pick out this incredible lot and you pick out this floor plan because the one we saw had a covered patio. A lot of times covering the patio is an extra cost, or definitely if you're extending. Sometimes that builder only covers like, you know, whatever, 6x10 patio right off the house. But if you're extending the size of it and or covering it, a lot of times that's a pretty big ticket item structurally. I know when our clients, they were like, well, yeah, of course we would get the extended patio, and yes, we want it half covered on the house that they built. It was a $40,000 line item. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad spend, because absolutely, if you have the right lot and that's where you spend your time, it definitely, I have, in fact, had a back patio come into factor for an appraisal, and it did add value. And if you think about it, Lori, patios can cost a lot of money, whether that's hardscaped with concrete or if it's decking material because you're elevated. It will help with the value of a house, and by far, it's probably one of those things that Lori and we sell over and over and over again our views and outdoor spaces in Colorado. All right, what's up next?
Another thing I want to talk about is, well, cabinetry and flooring. So
and I think
I'll talk about it all.
okay.
So with cabinetry, you know, sometimes when you see these cheap builders that Kaylee and I have had, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to be a bully, but there are builders, when you build with us, we make sure that you do an inspection before close, because there are some builders who are, you know, you see the 3.99% interest rate and you see, you know, this new build thing, but it's like a cheap car. It's like, how quickly is it going to fall apart? And so you got to look at levels of cabinetry. You know, is it a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Same thing with countertops. What's included when you build out that house, as far as, you know, when you see that base sheet pricing, what level of cabinetry, what level of countertops, and is included in that? I think that's so important.
Well, and a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm fine with standard cabinetry, but I definitely want soft close.
$2,500.
Well, soft close is not typically like a level 1 or a baseline cabinetry choice.
And so, like, this is a waterfall cabinet. So yes, if that
or
is
countertop.
Sorry, yes. And so, do you want a double oven? Is the upgraded kitchen included? So all those things are things that in the kitchen that are heart of the home, that are, we always say, if you're going to spend your money, you know, bedrooms and master primary bedrooms or kitchens, I'm sorry, and primary are a really good place to do that, along with one other item.
Well, and I will say, even further discussion than, like, if you fall in love with the idea of having like a waterfall countertop,
I do like that.
not all builders are the same, because there's some builders that won't even offer it as an option. So if you want certain features, that may be part of the discussion is, I don't think that builder even does it. Let me give them a call.
Yeah.
So there are a couple things that are kind of hard to like pinpoint out and pick out, but it really does help the feel of the house or take away from the feel of the house, depending if you add it on or not. One being lighting. So a lot of these model homes will have lighting that maybe they don't even offer as a builder's standard. This particular builder has quite an array of different lighting features that you can add on. One thing I know for a fact, and even like those very
Facts with Keely,
like baseline builders, they will always add in additional lighting into all of their homes.
even their can lighting.
That's what, even the can lighting, like maybe there's like one standard can light in a hallway, but they will add on extra lighting. A lot of times,
I think that's
in
such
a
an important part of a
bedroom,
build that people overlook when we're doing
that's
it.
saying one, well, here's a standard, like
Yeah.
this is a one light bedroom, but a lot of times.
But we're here in the middle of the day, and the nighttime when you have one, like in my old house, I had one can lighting in my basement,
and it's
dim. So dark.
And that's what a lot of builders will add, like at least 2 can lights up in the ceiling, like where a bed or a desk or something would go. Or sometimes you'll see it now, like what you did, Lori, where you add a sconce. But a lot of times just one light in a bedroom isn't sufficient enough. You will see it a lot in hallways, in basements, in kitchens and bathrooms. So I always ask, like, what is the standard for lights? Are they ceiling fan pre-wires? Like if you know you want fans, a lot of times that's an upgraded cost to have that ceiling fan pre-wire versus just the standard light. Okay, what do you have there?
This is my friend. This builder always has like dogs and animals in it. And they always kind of freak me out a little bit. But
It's a little creepy.
do you see him? I mean, he's nice. Anyways, so the other thing I want to talk about is door and trim packages. So a lot of times you're going to have, you know, that some builders will have just a cheap, you know, hollow doors, like
standard.
your standard height. And some will include these. What do you think these are, Keeleen? Like
Those are 8-foot doors.
8-foot doors.
Yeah.
And then the taller trim on the bottom as well. Otherwise, you know, when you see, like I said, it's when you look at that price tag or price base out sheet. I can't talk today. Price line base out sheet.
And that's why
Anyways.
sometimes too, like even if they have like the 8-foot doors on the main level, sometimes it comes down to the plan of the home too. Like if I had a client who they wanted the tall doors and ceilings. Well, it was only in 2 or 3 of the builder's plans, because the other plans didn't have the ceiling height for the taller ceiling, so therefore an 8-foot door looks silly.
Yeah, and if you see like these floorings here, it's, you know, typical, like this would be carpet. And that I would say is true for most builders. I hardly ever see a builder who does the hardwood floor as a standard level throughout the whole entire house.
Yeah,
so if you watch this,
I think always
you know,
an upgrade.
that, you know, you're going to see maybe this room, but typically when you get to like living rooms, extra bonus rooms on that main level, primaries, all carpet, and that would be an upgrade. One expensive upgrade is that down the stairs. That can run you about $15,000 to $18,000 just to put LVP and not carpet on those stairs. That is your what was it? What did we call it again?
Not all builders
not
are
all
the
builders
same.
the same episode with Lori and Kayleen today.
Yep.
I do think it is. I think when people reach out, we do new builds a lot with clients, and we closed one yesterday, one Friday,
One Thursday.
We had one Thursday.
Yeah, we had one last
Thursday.
Friday. We had one Monday. We have one
We
this
contracted
Thursday.
this weekend. We help save our clients a lot of money, and I think we're really knowledgeable. Caitlin and I also recently both built our own homes, so it's really important to have someone who knows what they're doing in the process, is actually here. A lot of our clients aren't here during the build too.
And a lot of the builders are really hard to navigate. Like if you can do some research online, but when it comes to like available lots, available home plans, oh, you want to see that in person, we might have to drive over here. If you reach out to the number on the website, you're like a central answering person, and then they text so-and-so or send an email, and it's just a lot of moving parts. We literally have these builders on like text and speed dial, and so we can ask them very forward questions and get answers right back right away.
And we know how to save you some money, and you don't lose any money by having a real estate agent represent you. Builders like it when they can represent themselves, because then they are covering their bottom line and not yours. So make sure to reach out to us, and we'd love to help you guys make the move here to Colorado Springs or Monument or Woodland Park.
Or that's it. No. Peyton, Meridian Ranch, maybe up to Castle Rock.
Maybe.